For my new media project, I will be examining the positive and negative effects of video streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and many others. I will be interviewing 3 close friends to gauge their perspective on how this form of new media is affecting the way we consume television today. Pridmore describes new media as having to do with distribution. These were analog forms of communication and require relatively complex forms of distribution. Peters writes that new media is media we do not yet know how to talk about. This shows me that new media is not necessarily different types of media that we are receiving. It is more the different ways that we are seeing and receiving them. It is more a different translation of the type of media opposed to a whole different creation of a different category of media. It is just changing how we go about in watching our favorite shows, events, etc. With all types of live entertainment and movie theater showings shut down in last year's pandemic, streaming service had an all-time spike in users. Instead of people going out for dinner and a movie, people were stuck in their homes, forced to order takeout and watch the newest movies from their choice of subscription service. This really shows why subscription services have really taken off in the past year or two, and why the transformation is being made over into this being the norm of how people see their favorite things. Although roughly about 2/3 of American households still maintain their cable subscriptions, many of them added additional subscription fee to a third-party streaming service. With popularity of these apps increasing, I wanted to survey a group of people who enjoy different types of media to see how these subscription services affect their consumption of their favorite shows, events, and programs. I will ask all of my participants the same questions so I can get the data to help me come to my conclusion of how people feel about streaming services. Do they love them? Do they not like them? Or is it something they have not even noticed that is changing? The questions I will ask all of my participants are: what streaming service do you like the most? And what is it about that app that keeps you coming back and paying that big bill? Has there been a time when you wanted to watch something but it was not worth it to you to add on another streaming service that this show or event was offered on? And lastly, where do you see cable television going in the next few years? And do you plan on keeping your television service provider?
Okay, first bullet point. What streaming service do I like the most and what's bringing me back to it? I think I like HBO Max the most because it just has my favorite movies on it. And then every once in a while when I'm looking for a TV show, it'll come up. Bullet point number 2. Has there been a time when you wanted to watch something but it was not worth it to you to add on to another streaming service? Uh, Definitely yes. Just sometimes I see YouTube movies and stuff where it's like, oh, well, they're on another site anyway, so it wouldn't really make the most sense to pay for it. Where do I see cable television going in the next few years? Do you plan on keeping your cable television service provider? I don't. I think once the news goes to a streaming service, then there will be no use for cable TVs. Nobody likes watching ads. And just the way that things have been the last few years with Netflix, it seems pretty old school to me now. Okay, sweet.
Which streaming service do I like the most, and what about it keeps me coming back? Probably HBO Max. That's because I get it for free with my AT&T Wi-Fi subscription. So that's what keeps me coming back. But I also pay for Netflix, and I think maybe that's just because that's the one I'm most used to, most familiar with. Has there been a time when you wanted to watch something but it wasn't worth adding another streaming service? Yes, definitely. Usually it's not worth adding a whole nother streaming service to watch one movie, so usually I'll just get over it. Where do you see cable television going in the next few years? I've never had cable television in college, and honestly at home I don't even think we have cable television anymore. So I'd say in 10 years, probably 15% of the population will have it in the U.S.
Hi, I'm Sadie, one of Nick's roommates. Yeah. What streaming service do you like the most, and what is it about that app that keeps you coming back and paying that bill? I would probably say Apple Music for me. I just use it every day, so it seems the most needed. And it's the only one that I really feel like is worth the money. And with the student discount too, it's $5 a month, which is like nothing for unlimited music. Has there been a time when you wanted to watch something but it was not worth it to you to add another streaming service? Yes, definitely. I think a lot of times though you can find them now on demand if it's like a one thing and purchase something individually. I definitely wouldn't buy a service just for one show, especially when they're constantly changing and on different streaming services all the time. You can wait it out, or a friend has one that I could watch and use. Where do you see cable television going in the next few years, and do you plan on keeping your cable television service provider? Right now, when I'm like at school, I don't have one. At home, we do mainly just watch sports. If I did ever get cable in my own home, it would probably just be sports channels, because the rest of it you can pretty much find on one of the services that are available to stream.